Battlers, I am back. Welcome to another episode of the United Podcast Roster Review Edition. Well, Roster Review, Battlers, is all about breaking down the squad, making sure everything is in the right place, exactly like our mates do at ABC Developments. Whether it's fixing up your home or building something brand new, they will make sure there are no weak links in your lineup. And the best part, it's as easy as ABC. So, Battlers, if you need quality construction work that will not leave you second guessing, make sure you hit up ABC Developments because they will go above and beyond for you and won't drop the ball. Well, Battlers, that's right. The Newcastle Knights will be putting away that game. We're moving forward from that heartbreaking loss against the Roosters at Mac Jones Stadium last weekend as we jet across the country to Perth. That's right, HFB Park. The first time the Newcastle Knights will play at this venue to take on the most red-hot form team in the competition in the Dolphins. But that's right, Voldemort is no more. A roster review show with our boy Dominic Young back in the red and blue once more. After playing us last week, now he's playing for us this week. And that's right, not only he will be making his triumphant return for the first time, Battlers, in 640 days. That's right, 640 days since Dominic Young last played for the Newcastle Knights. Our boy Bradman Best, the Beast, is back. Now we have a full-strength left edge once more. But we're going to need more than that, Battlers. We are absolutely going to need more than that. The Newcastle Knights need to bring every ounce of that titanium-filled defense that has us currently the second best rated defense in the competition. And I'll tell you why. Because the Dolphins have scored a whopping 158 points in the past 3 weeks. You want me to put that in some sort of perspective for you? That's just 35 less points than we have managed to amass in 15 games. So they are absolutely brimming full of confidence. They're blowing teams off the park currently. Not only will we be sinking our teeth into that game this week, we'll be looking at our player battle matchup. We'll be looking at your grain-fed lock-it-ins and answering your burning questions. So, Battlers, sit back and get your fins down as I take a look at the Adam O'Briens and outs of this week's upcoming clash against the Dolphins. Let's go! All right, first things first this week, giveaway time. That's right. All the Battlers now. I've been spruiking this, and you're going to be sitting there going, fuck, I should have got in. I should have gone in. Linc made it so easy. Well, it's time to do the giveaway. All right, so let's do it right here live on camera. I've got it here. All the names are entered in this little wheel of names. So let's do it, Battlers, together. Let's give away some sexy Newcastle Knights merchandise. Here we go. Who is the lucky winner? Ding, ding, ding. All right. Hal Wart 2525. Hal Wart. Geez, I hope they're not genital warts. There you go, mate. Well, if you do have genital warts, I've just made your day better, pal. So Hal Wart 2525. Get in touch, mate. All right. And you have now just become the most handsome person that your friends know after picking up not only the Premiership T-shirt, you've won the Grand Final T-shirt and a sexy V-neck 3/4 sleeve Newcastle Knights T-shirt. But if you missed out, Battlers, don't despair. There's more giveaways coming around the corner. So stay tuned for that. All right. So shout out to you, Hal Wart 2525. How do people pick some of these bloody usernames? I tell you.
Feel like a bingo host.
I do feel like a bit of a bingo host. So there you go. First things first, brought to you by Newcastle Mixed Martial Arts, which is Newcastle's Lake Macquarie and the Hunter's highest rated mixed martial arts gym with more than 350 5-star Google review. Beginners are welcomed and encouraged into their safe, inclusive, and most importantly, Battlers, fun training center. Head coach Jess Landry's experience includes being directly trained by UFC veterans as well as under the wrestling coach of the bloody Sydney Roosters. Newcastle Mixed Martial Arts is centrally located in Cardiff, right beside the Cardiff train station, offering day and night classes for kids, teens, and adults, including Muay Thai kickboxing, gi and no-gi Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and mixed martial arts. So make sure you go book your free trial right now well, not right now, after the show, by visiting their website at newcastlemma.com.au. Now, before we proceed with the episode, battlers, if you are enjoying the show or if you are not, make sure you like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. Make sure you're giving us a big old thumbs up. If you're watching this right now, trust me, it goes a long, long ways. Get that algorithm pumping. Let's get more battlers and battlers onto the show once more. So make sure you give it a big old thumbs up. If you're listening to us right now, make sure you give us a big old 5-star review, all right? You missed out on the shit hot night stuff. Well, too bad. You're going to give me a 5-star review if you haven't done so already. And if you haven't done so, whatever social media platform you are wasting your time on, I can guarantee you we are there. So make sure you go and follow and subscribe from whatever platform you are on, because every like, follow, subscribe, share goes a long way, battlers. It really does. It'd be greatly appreciated. Help your boy Linc out. All right, battlers, let's do it. No night of news. We're just diving head first into this round 16 clash against the Dolphins. Let's kick it off, shall we, with the Newcastle Knights spine, with our boy Captain Kalen Ponga expected to be named in backing up from Perth. So he's going to have a little bit of a Perth holiday. He's going to be resting up after the New South Wales Blues absolutely spank his team on Wednesday night. With Razor Sharp. Razor Sharp's been named, omitted last week, unfortunately, with that calf injury, but expected to play this week. So Adam O'Brien has him back at 5'8". Jack Cogger retains his jersey again this week, and Jaden Brayley also. No Phoenix crossing. We'll get to Phoenix in a little bit. Moving across to our opposition, the Dolphins. Hamiso Tabawai Fido, the leading try scorer for the Dolphins. He is expected also to be backing up from origin duties, with Cody Nikorima, halfback and newly appointed captain. Now, I have on good authority, he is the second youngest NRL captain of all time behind Nathan Kalis. So he is going to be a massive talking point on tonight's show, Isaiah Katoa. And to round out the spine for the Dolphins, we have Jeremy Marshall King. Now, battlers, what do we want to see this week from our spine? Want to see what we saw in the Seagulls game, didn't we? I think we can all agree we really, really liked that sort of attacking football. We had our boy Razor Sharp parked up on the right, KP doing his thing on the left. So I want to have a bit of a chat about our boy Jack Cogger. I did like what I saw from Jack Cogger. I was kind of a bit surprised. I was more thinking that we'd see Jackson Hastings sort of take on the more conventional 7 role and steer the ship and do most of the kicking, but he ended up doing a lot more of the running game, and it was Cogs. So egg on my face. Who would fucking listen to me, right, Lou? Tell you. But what we need from our boy Jack Cogger this week, because he's got in his spine, he's got a very dangerous fullback and he's got a very dangerous 5'8". So we just need him to take that back seat. He needs to organize first, create second. That is going to be the mantra for our boy Jack Cogger this week. So we don't need his job to be to try and win this game on brilliance. He just needs to get us in spots, control the tempo, and let the others play off the back of that, primarily with a really good kicking game, particularly long kicking game. I know Fletcher sort of stepped up a little bit in that regard, but that's what he needs to do. There's a great quote. The great quote is, Jack Cogger needs to be the skeleton, not the muscle. Does that make sense to you, Lou? Is that a profound enough quote, or does that just make absolute no sense at all to you?
Say it again.
He needs to be the skeleton, not the muscle.
The bones.
He needs to be the skeleton. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that gone over? Everyone's head's gone, Linc. You've been trying to be too profound, mate, with these fucking quotes, but that's what we need from our boy Cogs. I feel like if he can play that game, just take that back seat again. If KP and Razor are playing to their best, we love that brand of football. And I'll tell you who really, I think, suits that brand of football, and he has been in incredible form, and I know I've been pounding that drum for a while, is Jaden Brayley. If we can play that really up-tempo brand of football, Jaden's the man. I think we can capitalize with him. I thought, again, he picked these moments really, really well last week. Got us a couple of penalties, repeat set with a grubber kick. So he does have his kicking license to a degree. I know I took it from him last year. But, geez, he's playing bigger minutes at the moment, and he's doing it with ease. You know, before what was it, 2 or 3 weeks ago, whatever it was, averaging around the 30-minute mark, obviously coming off the bench with Crossland starting hooker, but playing over 50 minutes. I think it was 70-plus minutes last week, and he's a fit cat. He gets it. He was really good. So even the bigger minutes for Brails, I think he's doing quite well. You comment away and you let me know what you guys think about Jaden Brayley. I think he's been excellent for us. Moving across, though, however, to the Dolphins, as I said, red hot form. I've got the calculator out now. They have managed to score 158 points in 3 weeks. They have managed to score 81.81% of the Knights' total points for the season in just 3 games. You believe that, Lou? 80.1% of the Dolphins, they've scored 81% of what we've managed to score in 15 weeks. They've done in 3.
That's insane.
Blowing teams apart, full of confidence. I'll tell you what, I was sitting there trying to think about who this Dolphins team reminds me of. It reminds me of the Newcastle Knights in 2023. They just seem to have that bit of swag about them. I think they lost their first 4 games. They've got a stack of injuries. But I tell you what, they've all bought into what Kristian Woolf's doing. And boy, oh boy, they are.
They've got their mojo.
Mojo. That's it. They got their rugby league mojo. Absolutely. But yeah, the hammer out the back there, obviously speed for days. He's actually their leading try scorer. So no surprise, high caliber player. And I'll tell you what, if they can get him, this is what I'm worried about with the Blues too, because the Blues don't really have a speedster out there. And when you've got a guy like Isaiah Katoa, which is going to be, I'm going to sink my teeth into Isaiah Katoa shortly. If they can get him in just, a bee's dick of space, boy, oh boy, we might see one of the great rugby league foot races between the hammer, maybe Fletch might be in there. Dom might come in clutch for us now. We've got a guy that might be able to match him in the speed. So, you got to be very mindful. Cast your minds back when we did beat the Dolphins earlier in the year. And Fletch, as quick as Fletch was, and tried to put that little chip kick over, but tell you what, you got the hammer sitting back there. Good luck. You're not going to get there. So, got to be really wary of him. He's very elusive, very, very fast football player. But the main guy I really, really, really want to talk about from the Dolphins, and I'm sure Adam O'Brien and co have been doing their homework. I'm sure all the video has been on Isaiah Katoa, because he is, I've just got the first line in my notes that says, he is the dude. And I called it last week, and it wasn't really a hot take. I think everyone was sort of expecting James Tedesco to step up and do what he did. Well, he is going to be this week's James Tedesco. Isaiah Katoa is absolutely killing it. Let me just read out some of the statistics for Isaiah. He's the first in the NRL for line engaged with 161 lines engaged. And to put that in perspective, the second line engager in the league is Nico Hines with 105. Blowing him off the park. He's got 55 plus on him, an extra 56, if my math's right, on Nico Hines. Equals second in the league for try assist, second in the NRL for line break assist, and he's got the most kick meters. So he is absolutely integral to this team at the moment. He is playing in some scintillating form. I tell you what, can't wait to see him in a Blues jersey eventually. He's going to absolutely kill it. But just the insane ball playing ability on this guy. For a young 21-year-old, the things he's doing, you can see why he's racking up all those line break assists, try assists. He's just, he seems to be the master at the moment, just squaring up defenders. Just, whether it's a double pump or, faking something with his eyes and getting the ball in or out. He's just absolutely killing it. So the main focus for Adam O'Brien and the Newcastle Knights is to shut that man down. And I know it's much easier said than done. You go, Linc, how on earth do you shut down a quality halfback like that? You got to dominate the ruck. I feel like Phoenix Crossland, we're going to touch on Phoenix later, but he is the guy that, generates that massive line speed. We know he tackles his rugby league dick off. He can attack with his defense. So we really need to build on the back of that. And yeah, we just got to give him no time, no space, because that's what the great halfbacks thrive on, isn't it? All the momentum in the world and time. We've got to get that away from him. So trying their best to win that ruck, get some, whether the edge back rows are trying to pressure him as much as they possibly can. They don't have to hit him, but just try and get to him at that little bit second earlier. So he's got to make a decision faster than he usually would. But yeah, I guarantee you, Adam O'Brien would have been doing a lot of homework on Isaiah Katoa this week, and the boys really, really need to get that kick pressure on him. Because, yeah, he's absolutely integral. If we can somehow rattle him, I know it's much easier said than done, we can get him off his game, might just be enough. As I said, going into this game, you've got a team that is the best. They've got the most points in the league in the Dolphins, coming up against the second best defense in the comp in a team that's got the least amount of points. So the rugby league gods have written us a great script here all the way over in Perth. It'll be very interesting to see how this red hot team that's just got oozing points coming against some titanium-filled gritty defense. We've been very gritty, not pretty this year. So let's see. It's, as I said earlier in the show, that is going to be put to the rugby league test this weekend to see if we crack, because, as I've said numerous times, it's only the Sharks game, 34 points. That's the benchmark for us. That's the line in the sand. That's the most amount of points we've managed to leak. As I said, there's some other teams much higher on the ladder than us that have leaked far more points in games than the Newcastle Knights have. So I know for a season that most of us aren't that impressed with, that's something. That's something we can look at and go, well, we're not getting 50, point. Like, look at the Cowboys, for instance, getting absolutely blown away last week. So we need to continue that trend there. So, but yes, all right, let's move along to the outside backs, and that's right, our boy Dominic Young. Doesn't that feel good, Lou, to say that? Hey, and shout out to you, Sue. I'm sure Sue will be listening. She goes, you know what? God, I missed that United podcast. That the Roosters, they just don't have this. They just don't have the rugby league supporter base. They don't have a United, do they?
I have a feeling that it's going to feel like no time has passed.
Yeah, it's just going to feel like wearing an old pair of jeans. You know what I mean? It's just fall into the back of the cupboard and you find it again. You put them on and it just feels right, feels good. It's just got that winning feeling about it. So, as I said before, 640 days since Dom last played for the Knights. Cast your mind back, that great year, 2023. Unfortunately, it ended to the Wars, who were red hot. Second week of finals there. So that was last time Dom played for the Knights with his old partner in crime. That's right, Dan Gagai on the right edge. Our boy Bradman Best is back, and he returns for the first time since that round 11 clash with our boy, the G-Train, Greg Marzu. So we're going back, baby. We're back in 2023 territories. Statistically, the greatest back line we've had. I know the Newcastle Knights have had some absolutely impeccable and talented, backline players. Your Tamana Tahus, Gidleys, Aquila Uwate. The list goes on and on. But statistically, that 2023 backline, holy shit, it was next level. It was absolutely next level. But before we sink our teeth into that, moving across to the Dolphins, we got our boy Jack Bostock and Herbie Farnworth parked up on the left edge, and Jake Avarillo switches from fullback last week. He was sort of filling that vacated spot by the Hammer. Back in the centers with Jermaine Osako, who is the leading point scorer in the NRL. Let me double down on this. Jermaine Osako has scored, the Knights have scored 193 points. Jermaine Osako is only 29 points behind us. One player is 29 points behind the entire Newcastle Knights point scoring. Wow. Crazy. There you go. Sorry to make you feel bad, Battlers. These numbers are just blowing my mind at the moment. All right. As I said, the lethal left back again once more. And then, let's just hope, that connection between Dylan Lucas, who I'll be certainly getting to very shortly, because I've got some numbers I want to run by you guys. Dylan Lucas, Brady, and Greggy Marzu's clicking. It's fire, and it's back to what it once was, because it's been very disjointed. I know we all love the lethal left. We all have a very soft spot for the lethal left, and it has been pulled apart. And we had Shills filling in there. We had Dylan Lucas even played centers for one game. You had Tommy Cant in there. Come on, Kyle McCarthy, Fletcher Hunt. So it's been pulled to pieces, that edge. So nice to see it back there. I know we've had some guys coming and do a good job there, but geez, good luck trying to compete with Brady Best. So he's going to be immense. And we all know the G-Train. If he's wearing the braids and Brady Best is playing, your boy's in for a big game. So he has been named to start. I know there was a bit of a neck thing going on there But obviously they feel like he's confident. Hopefully he backs up from last week's game. He gets over that. Because let's be honest, I said it coming into the start of the season. You let me know, is there a more powerful pound for pound centre wing combo in the league than Greg Marzu and Brady Best? I don't think there is. Both of them, full strength, going nuts. Good luck. I feel like they are by far the most powerful combo in the league. I'm not saying the best and all this stuff. I'm just saying, just from sheer power alone, I feel like they absolutely are. But I want to touch on this week's player battle, Lou. That's right. This one's going to be a doozy, I feel. Herbie Farnworth up against your boy Dane Gagai. Herbie Farnworth currently, what have I got here? He's on an 8-game try scoring streak. So he pretty much epitomizes what the Dolphins are doing at the moment. Currently, he's the fourth in post-contact meters in the NRL. He's got the most tackle breaks in the NRL, and he's second for offloads. So an absolute handful. Gags up there in the stats too. Don't get it twisted. Gags is doing some good stuff. Gags is still playing some real elite level football. But I feel like these two guys going at one another is going to be something special on that right edge. I feel like these two guys, we all know Gags, the super competitive guy. He's not going to want this pommy bastard coming over and putting one over him over in Perth. He's going to want to lock up his edge. He's got his boy Dom back. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to what these two guys are going to be doing on their respective edges. Dominic Young, you let me know. What are you excited? What do you feel like Dom can possibly bring? Because he has scored 43 tries in the 51 games he played for the Newcastle Knights. So for a team that is severely lacking the ability to score points, you can see why. I think it was clear as day. I was certainly calling it that. Yeah, he would be rushed straight in to try and reinvigorate that, that red hot form in 2023. Because it's, it's pretty evident that unfortunately in his time at the Roosters, it has regressed. I don't know. Then that's no blight on Dom either. I feel like a lot of their players that they've, a lot of these big players that they've signed have gone backwards. They sort of haven't done a good job of these big name players. They're sort of developing younger guys quite well, but Dom's certainly. I don't think it's an issue with him as such. I feel like I don't know what they keep saying. He didn't fit in with the culture of the fucking Roosters or whatever rubbish that means. But I just put it down to, poor coaching. Brendan Smith was kind of the similar one. He came in from Melbourne, red hot, one of the great hookers, and then sort of, fell away quite a bit. So similar circumstances there with our boy Dominic Young. But keep saying that some of those tries he scored for us back in 2023, only Dominic Young could score. Only he could score. You couldn't coach it. It was just sheer individual brilliance, just pace for days, just, running around blokes, scoring length of the field jobs, great finisher. Some of those tries. Remember that try that he scored against the Dragons late in that 23 season? Boy, oh boy, to break the record. Incredible. So, Dom, I'm sure, is looking to bounce back in a big way. And I feel like having Gags there, it makes sense, doesn't it? It makes sense. It's not like he's coming into, back into an old team, but with new personnel. Well, he's got his boy Gags there, and that's where he played his best football with Gags. So I'm sure.
Said, I feel Dom will bring back those jaw-dropping spectacular tries that will fire up the team.
Yeah, let's hope so. And, I feel bad for Shills because, man, Shills had some great moments. Like even last week, he was so close to scoring that try. He's scored some miraculous tries. Line breaks, he's right up there. I think he's like in the top 15 in the NRL for line breaks. We know he's real good for that. Big physical kind of player. But as I said, he's not even 30 games into his NRL career. So, not all is lost for James Schiller. Trust me. All right, trust me. All right, let's move along to the Dolphins. Now, Jack Bostock, 4 tries, 4 rugby league tries for that man last week. Absolutely had a field day against the Cowboys. Hard not to when you're playing that scintillating form, and then you got Herbie Farnworth on your inside there. And Jake Averillo, again, playing some really good football. Kristian Woolf's obviously really developed him. He's come a long, long ways. And Jermaine Asako, another guy who's having a real renaissance. Sort of for a while there in the NRL, he was a guy that you thought, I don't know, when he left the Broncos, he mightn't kick on. But, geez, he's a really, really good football player. And as I said, goal kicking for days. As you said, only him single-handedly, he's only 29 points behind the entire Newcastle Knights attack, which is insane. Absolutely insane. But I do want to make note now, the Dolphins have scored a whopping 39 of their 68 tries along that left edge. So that left edge of Jack Bostock and Herbie Farnworth. So that's what I was saying, this player battle, got to be careful because they're funneling a lot. It's not the biggest in far as ratio is concerned, but they certainly that left edge of theirs, much like what we were. That's why I'm drawing so many comparisons to our 2023 side. That Dolphins left edge is scoring more tries than any other edge in the comp. So got to be careful there. And unfortunately, it's that same side for the Newcastle Knights that's unfortunately leaked some points as well. So got to be careful there. All right, well, let's move across, shall we, to the forwards for the Newcastle Knights. And that's right, Mr. Foot Fetish, Dylan Lucas returns once more with our boy, Pierce Paul. Tyson Frizzell is back from his HIA protocol named. He was sorely missed last week. Matty Croker keeps a starting prop position after a pretty lackluster game last week. And Phoenix Crossland holding down the middle once more at the lock forward position. Moving across to the forwards for the Dolphins, you have Fini Fuiaki and Oren Keeley, the old bloody Knights junior, in the second row. Francis Molo and Mark Nichols, he comes in. Felice Kafusi suspended. Fucking shock horror. He comes in. And Kurt Donahue, another Knights junior. He's playing in the lock forward position for the Dolphins. Again, that game, the Brady Best coming back, Dylan Lucas, that combination. They've only played 5 games. I went back through and looked through all the team lists. We've only had 5 games this year where Brady Best and Dylan Lucas have been on the field together. Isn't that insane? Isn't that just criminal? Absolutely criminal. And of those 5 games they played together, we won 3 of them. So you make of that what you will. But yes, we all know that combination when you got, KP, Lucas, Brady, Greggy, that's elite. That's elite. When that thing's running and humming, tell you what, it could be one of the best edges in the competition. So yeah, looking forward to seeing some action on that left edge there. Pierce Paul, he's sort of been he's been sort of dominating the highlight packages, which I'm loving because it's for so long we've been sitting here going, we want to see some highlights from our boy Pierce Paul. And one thing that he's bringing and he brought last week was some of that fucking energy in defense. Fucking hell, is he smacking blokes around? I want to see Isaiah Katoa take it to Pierce Paul and instantly fucking regret it. With our Pierce Paul just absolutely monsters him. I'm going to manifest that this week. Tyson Frizzell, sorely missed. We need some veteran experience, and he brings that. As I said last week, unfortunately, Matt Croker, Brodie Jones just got absolutely out-muscled. I think combined it was something like 120 run meters, as I was saying on the Match Rewind show. So they need an alpha dog guy in there. Tyson's had some good games. He strung together in the forwards there. So we really missed him. So let's hope he can reinvigorate some of these younger guys and go with him. Matty Croker, as I said, 52 minutes played, only 76 run meters last week. He'll be kicking himself. So he's got to do better. I'm sure he will do better. We all highly rate our boy Matty Croker, so I'm sure he's going to bounce back and do a job this week. In Phoenix Crossland, what more going to say about Phoenix Crossland? I just hope they put a bloody an esky full of dicks over to Perth. I hope someone packed that. They didn't leave it behind because that man's going to need one. They're going to need one. Or if you know someone in Perth who's what do you call it? Like a dick donor, hook the Knights up because you can guarantee that man is going to tackle his dick off at HFB Park. 100% tackle efficiency, 54 tackles, 0 missed for a team that was getting fucking pumped through the middle once more. As I said, you had White and that Fawecki coming at us for the Roosters. I know they had some big names out, but geez, their big boys were doing some work through the middle. And yeah, Crossland, you can see why Adam O'Brien put him in there. You know what you're going to get defensively. As I said before, hopefully he can really get that line speed going. We see it so often with him, especially when you got Katoa doing his thing. Got to get that line speed up and going. You can't have that lazy line speed and have that ruck dominating, because that's just going to play into Isaiah's hands, and they're just going to play off the back of that. So let's hope Crossland really sets that this week, and we can look forward to seeing that. All right, let's move along to the bench for the Newcastle Knights with our boy, Mr. Nightanian, Brody Jones and Tommy Cant. Jermaine McEwen, who had a sensational game, I think over 100 run meters. I think it was 106 and 20-odd minutes. He had a really good game. And Elijah Salsa-Lamawana also too. Very limited minutes. I think it's 16 minutes and managed 60-plus run meters. I thought he was really good for what was his third game, I think. Moving across to the Dolphins, we've got Harrison Graham, Connolly Lemuel, Ray Stone, the fucking tough bastard, and Josh Kerr, son of the famous Wayne Kerr. But yes, again, still a very young bench. You'd have Brody back there, but yeah, still very, very young. But I'll tell you what, these younger guys, they're coming up, they're doing a job. They're only going to get better and better for it. One guy, as I said, I didn't talk about him too much. It was such a weird game last week. Jermaine McEwen. I think it's, I've said it quite a few times, and if he keeps having these games, like he's going to get these opportunities off the bench, I think that he's first in line to get that right edge back rower spot. He's looking good. He's looking good. I'm really liking what I'm seeing from Jermaine. And same with Elijah. Let's hope he continues to develop. I know the silver lining is when you're playing experienced guys, they're only going to get better for it, aren't they? They're only going to get better. So let's hope they come in and continue what they did last week for us. Again, I thought they were quite good, and when you saw some of the starting props not really kicking on, these guys came in and sort of sparked something. So, but yeah, there you go, battlers. So to kind of wrap that up in a bow, we've got our 2023 backline together once more. You've got the Newcastle Knights, who were the second best defensive team on by numbers, ranked by the NRL, up against a white-hot Dolphins team, scoring points for days, coming head-to-head with Isaiah Katoa, the young captain, coming in, killing it at the moment. He's probably the most in-form halfback in the comp. He's just got all the time and space at the moment. So he's going to be one to watch, and a great battle too. Herbie versus Dane, very much looking forward to that. So again, let's hope maybe Dom brings some of that 2023 energy with him. Did you hear, Lou? I didn't know this, that Dominic Young, for that Roosters game, he drove up, brought all his belongings with him and left them at KPP's house, chilled out there for a bit, and then got changed into his Roosters kit, and then go play the game and came back.
I just saw a comment. Someone said that.
Isn't that
I
insane?
think it was from Justin.
How bizarre. Hey, you reckon they had tea? You reckon they're big tea boys?
Yeah.
Yeah. You put the bloody kettle on.
English. I drink tea. So
cup of tea and a bun,
English
mate.
blood.
Want a bloody cup of tea and a bun before we go play some footy?
All right. Tony said, this is the best backline. At least now we have backups in Shills, Hunt, and Kyle.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Depth. Some rugby league depth. I know we sort of, in some areas, we don't have some depth, but you're right, mate. Shills, Fletcher, Hunt, come on, Kyle McCarthy. I've got a feeling I'm starting to see some other people start to talk about our boy, come on, Kyle McCarthy. I want you guys to remember, just like Dylan Lucas playing Origin football, who said it first? Because when this guy breaks out and turns into a really good NRL player, you'll cast your minds back and go, fucking Linc was talking about come on, Kyle, back in 2024. I was doing it last year. I thought he was really, really good, but double down this year. But yeah, mate, absolutely. Depth for days. So, what I keep saying about the great Panthers team, and you got that blueprint of attack that unfortunately is not quite working, but you want to plug these guys in and they continue to do a really good job. But we've got some exciting young players that we're really, I feel like, starting to lean into. I think that's why guys like Gags and KPP, I know it sucks. I know they're fan favourites of ours, but I think that's why they're not wanting to pay overs for these guys, because they just feel like they've got young guys. They're going to do pretty well that, after their second or third year on this contract, they're playing well above what they're getting paid. And that's what you want. That's what you want a roster full of. You want those bargain buys. You're paying a guy next to nothing, and he's playing like a player that's worth fucking 3 times his contract value. So I'm with you, mate. I'm with you. All right. All right, let's do it. Let's move along to Lock It In, brought to you by Grain Fed Brewery. The beer brewed tough, just like your game day calls. Whether you're backing the boys for a big win or predicting a masterclass from your favorite player, make sure you have a cold grain fed in hand. Bold flavors, bold predictions. Lock it in with Grain Fed. All right, start firing away your Lock It Ins, battlers. I'll give you mine first. I've got Young and anytime try scorer. I'm feeling that 2023 magic once more. Lock him in for a try. Bradman Best, another one coming back. I feel like he's in for a monster game too. So bit of love for both our right and left edges there. I've got the Knights to make 5 line breaks. Feel like this could be a game where it's a bit end to end. Might be just going side to side a bit and just, as I said, reinvigorated with that lead, that back line that we know and love coming back. The reunion tour. The reunion tour starts now. What's a band that sort of, they lost a band member and they got like a fill-in guy for a while. And it was like, yeah, it's the same, but it's not. And then, that member comes back and then, everyone sort of just trying to think what's a recently like Linc did. Nah, they never sort of perform with all the OG members, eh?
I think didn't they have a different singer for a minute there?
Did they? Anyways, I digress. But anyways, we got the full band back together. That's what I'm trying to allude to.
The boys are back in town.
The boys are back in town.
It's the song that we'll be playing.
Yes.
All week.
They're back in town, kind of. They're going to go to Perth. They literally couldn't go further away from town, but you get what we're trying to say here. I'll tell you what, though, it was good to see him in those colours again and getting around training. Oh, Sue. God, I've missed your boy, Sue. Anyways, I digress. I've got the Knights making an intercept. I really feel like this is not going to be like the game we watched last week and be a bit of a poo slinger, a bit boring. I feel like this is going to have a bit of energy about it. This is going to be one of the great night watch shows, I'm hoping. I feel it's going to be lots of points scored. It's going to be super exciting. Jack Bostock got his intercept last week. I don't know. I just close my mind. I can see a Dom snatcher one or Fletcher Sharp nailing one, something like that. So lock that in. Cat 3, I've got the Knights to score in the first 5 minutes. Got to start fast again, battlers, and just got to keep that energy up. It was great. Cole McCarthy in the 3rd minute. Want that again. So got the Knights score in the first 5. Let's get my ass off the seat nice and early. And I got the Knights to score last also. So lock that in, battlers. All right. What are the other ones? What have we got? All right, Christopher Wilson, Young and Bostock. Yeah, mate. Anytime try scorers. Well, yeah, Bostock. He is in, as I said before, mate, some red hot try scoring form at the moment. Knights to make 35 to 40 tackle breaks. Finns to make 8 to 10 errors. I'll take that. Thank you very much. Knights to score first. Knights win little, 1-12. Yes, Chris. Yes, mate. Very good. Finns down. All right, Justin. Isn't this a better setup where I can actually stand beside your fucking... Look at this. That's much better. I'm not sort of looking over the fucking thing. In Dom, we trust. Dom, anytime try scorer. Brady, best anytime try scorer. Mate, come on. Did you just copy and paste mine, Justin? Hey? Come on now. Come on. Nah, mate. That's good. That's good. Knights to make 550 plus meters. Knights to have 10 plus tackle breaks. Hammer to be sin bin with a professional foul. Knights win 1-12. Ooh, the Hammer sin binning. Who's going to hold back?
You're giving weatherman here.
Yeah.
Weatherman. You look like a weatherman because you look like you're looking
fucking.
at it.
If we can see this depression over here, coming. Fuck, I do feel like a weatherman. Oh, God.
I didn't even plan that.
Yeah. Rugby league weatherman. All right, what do we got here? Matthew Davis. And what do you got, big dog? All right, Cat 1. Kalen Ponga, 2 try assists. Let's hope he has an absolute stinker for Queensland, and it's done. They've lost the series. They've been pounded to the core of the earth, and that's the last terrible game he plays, and it just comes in some white hot form. Back home at Perth, he was born in Perth, so maybe a few days in Perth might rejuvenate him a little bit too. Dominic Young for 2 more tries. Everyone's loving Dom Young. Fuck yes. Knights to have 1 to 2 intercepts. He's feeling the same as me. Yeah, people are vibing with me on this. Knights 11 to 12 offloads. Loving that bit of second base play. And what else has he got? It's been cut off there. What's the miscellaneous for our boy? Knights 1 to 12 underdogs. Knights to score first try. Fuck yeah, mate. Very good, mate. Very good. Good stuff. That last one, very good. Good stuff, battlers. Good stuff. All right. Let's take. Is there any burning questions this week, battlers, or have I quenched everyone's? No, we got some. All right. Let's answer some of your burning questions. Brought to you by Get Out Alive Fire Safety Training. You work in a business, battlers. Chances are you are not prepared for fire and or emergency. So make sure you get in contact with the fine folks at Get Out Alive Fire Safety Training for your training, procedures, plans. They will get you compliant. They will get you sorted. Because if you do not learn, you will burn. All right. What do you got, Lou?
The first few things aren't questions, but I just want to get
Statements.
statements.
Okay.
Tony said, I told Carl yesterday we called him Hong Kong Kyle and he pissed himself laughing.
Hong Kong Kyle. It's a great
Loving it.
name. Just rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? Hong Kong Kyle.
Yep.
Come on, cow.
And then something on a more serious note from Michaela. She's just wanting to know if anybody is after free Origin tickets to Perth. Unfortunately, my dad has been diagnosed with stage 4 brain cancer and we can't attend. Would love to give away 2 tickets to a fellow battler.
Michaela. Sorry to hear that, love. Well, I'm sure there'll be someone out there, Michaela, that would love to take them off your hands. So get in touch with Michaela Battlers if you're scrounging for some Origin tickets. Very gracious of you, Michaela.
Thank you. And we're thinking of you. Joseph has asked if the United hotline's still working.
Absolutely. There's a new link. The old one shit itself. It got burnt out. I had to put a new one in. Extra insulation on that bitch. Yes, mate, it's still working. 1,000%. Sometimes too, if I might add too, if I don't play yours, occasionally it wigs out. Sounds like you're underwater or something. I don't think it's like
I am under the water.
I don't think it's like your fault. I think it's, I don't know, it's something their end. It plays up because occasionally we get some, they like play half that's good and then it goes to shit and then it comes good. It sucks, I know. But yeah, just keep that in mind. Sometimes if I don't play, it's because unfortunately it just, I don't know, it wigs out their end and by the time I get it, you can barely bloody understand a word of it.
Brenton's asked, how's the weather for the game, Mr. Weatherman?
Ooh, that's a bloody good question. What's the weather like in
Perth on Saturday?
I'm feeling it's going to be all right. Is that even on the app? I don't even know. I wouldn't even know how to look, mate. I couldn't even tell you. I haven't heard anything about it being any wet. My old man was over there this time last week. Said it was all right. So I think
Here we go. Saturday, raining.
Oh, who would fucking listen to me then? It's going to be wet.
Apparently, I don't trust my weather.
Well, what's the
app.
odds? What's it saying? What's the percentage?
80%.
Oh shit. Okay. Well, pardon the pun. I don't mean to put a dampener on it. Maybe it's not going to be a fast game after all. Anyways, Finn's down still regardless. So there you go. There you go, Brenton. There's your expert rugby league weatherman analysis for that.
All right. Question from Bobby. Marcus Diarse?
Oh, yep.
The Vegas Combine winner made his Cup debut last week. Been playing great in flag. If he ends up making his NRL debut in the next 2 years, does that give the Vegas Combine more credibility? Maybe more NRL clubs take notice.
Oh, absolutely, Bobby. For sure. Wouldn't that be one of the great stories? Yeah, the Combine. Absolutely. I think, obviously that's why the NRL also want to try and crack into the US with the Vegas thing is because, you think of the entirety of the US, the population of the US, and it's the small number of players that make it into the NFL it's insane. Like, it's incredibly insane. And there's really nowhere else for them to go. I know they got that XFL or whatever it is, or, there's no other way for these highly gifted athletes. There's no other avenues for them. So even if the NRL could come in and swoop in and just get a little slither of those guys, and it's an olive branch. Oh, well, I couldn't make it, or you come through college and you just don't feel you're going to make it. Well, you can transition and go play some rugby league. There'd be some absolute weapons out there. Like, you only got to look at these NFL athletes. They're built different. So yeah, absolutely, it could be a massive success story. I've heard really good things about Marcus. Really excited. I hope he kicks on. It'd be exciting. Imagine Hong Kong Kyle and Canadian Marcus. How fucking good's this?
Christopher's asked, with the Knights not taking up Gag's option, are they hoping he gets no offers and they can sign him for less?
Possibly. I reckon though there would be a lot of clubs that would take him. Absolutely. Like, just on sheer experience alone, I kind of feel like he's worth the money. Again, it's hard to know. Like, we can only speculate, can't we? We don't know how much they've got and who's coming in the pipeline, who they feel they want to resign. Like, there's going to be some guys too. Like, I know it sucks. You want to keep them all. You want to keep them all. He's been one of the great servants. There is still a chance he can finish his days off as a Knight, but he isn't playing football that sort of screams, he's going to play. He should be paid less. Like, look at Cherry Evans, for instance. I feel like he's a guy that's gone from like $1 million player, a couple months ago. I don't think any clubs are going to pay him $1 million now. Dane Gagai, fuck, he keeps going. He's, as I said, rarely fucking injured. Still playing that, aggressive, competitive style of play, still going after it. Sure, he's lost a touch or two, a step or two of pace, which is obviously going to be expected when you're over 30. But I'd be shocked if there wasn't a handful of clubs willing, even if it was 1 year, even if it was just the 1 year, to get Dane in the building for experience around young guys or whatever, or they feel like it's a missing piece to get a veteran in there to a shot at a premiership. But yeah.
Matthew said earlier, liking Crossland in the 13, great defense and attacking in the middle.
Yeah, it was really good link, man. Again, like no huge highlights, but no one really had massive highlights in that game, did they? But yeah, you're right. He's a guy I've always said, can attack with his defense, really, really enthusiastic, sets that line speed. And I said 54 tackles, 0 missed. Like, come on. What a crazy effort. We all know Phoenix's game's built on that. We've sort of always looked at Crossland as a hooker, and he had that, that amazing 2023 run when Brails was, unfortunately one of his injury plagued seasons. He came through and he had, he just took off. But there's still stuff that Crossland does better than Brayley, and Brayley does better than Crossland. They are very different type of hookers, but defensively, you'd have to say Crossland. He does a job. He absolutely does a job.
That's awesome. Any whispers on forward recruits for next year?
Nothing yet, mate. Nothing yet. No, nothing as of yet, mates. But stay patient. Stay patient. These, there's all. Again, if someone would have told us fucking 2 months ago Dominic Young would be playing for us in round 16, you would have gone, no fucking way. Even the start of the year, yeah, things can change so fast. So I'm sure something will come our way, mate. Something will come our way.
Jared's asked, was dropping Schiller a good idea?
I think so, mate. And it's, again, we love the Schiller instinct. We love him.
Gave me a birthday shout out.
Bloody oath. We're gonna miss him a little bit. Old Chris Evans with a buzz cut, or Jim Carrey and me, myself, and Irene. But look, it's clear as day. The Newcastle Knights need to reinvigorate their attack, and when you can, as I said, getting the band back together, get that back line that absolutely killed it. We were the best. That back line was a part of the best attacking team 2 years ago. The Newcastle Knights were statistically the best attacking team in 2023. 2 seasons later, we're the worst, ranked dead last. Christ, we got the leading point scorer in a team they're only 30-odd points behind us as a whole. Insane. So you can see why they would just, as I said, there's no way they would have gone through all this effort to get him to the club to play Reggie's. And I don't think they might have got him. I'm sure the carrot that was dangled in front of him, and he probably knows too, like, as I said before, he regressed at the Roosters, and I don't necessarily think it's a Dom problem. I think that's a Roosters problem to begin with. He's a great player. We all know what Dominic Young brings. But yeah, I think so, mate. Again, it's no shot on Shills. I really rate Shills. I think he does have a future at the Knights. I think it'll be in the centre position. But yeah, Dom coming back makes sense, mate. Try and spark something.
Mr. Blue said, I missed the Sunday podcast, so I haven't had the chance to say, fuck the NRL bunker and the Roosters.
Yeah, mate. It's, yes, it's that one fucking stings. They know this is the great pub test. Like, rugby league's a simple game. Well, it should be a simple game. And as I said, if you can try and sit there and try and cut it to go, oh yeah, they did change the rules in 23, and all the Roosters supporters are doing these gymnastics in their head to try and justify this decision. And sure, if you get out the rule book and you go, yes, it did do all those sorts of try, bullshit. If you can't grip the ball, I think the word's grip. If the word grip the ball isn't in the try rule book, it doesn't fucking make sense. Like, let's be honest. We've all watched this game long enough to know you got to have fucking control the ball, put it down. You can't just fucking slide over the thing. I don't care if there's no separation or not, which I'm still not convinced that there wasn't. I feel like it wasn't conclusive enough to say there wasn't separation. But anyways, I'm moving on for that. But yeah, it did feel good to talk about it on the Match Rewind show.
You tried making a piece of toast with your elbows. Didn't work out very
well.
well.
As I said, fucking Hainsey and Retro, everything they do in here, if they're going to use our toilet, they're wiping their ass with their forehands. I'll even go up and watch them do it too, Battlers. Don't you worry.
All right, last one.
All right, what do we got?
From Tony. Hey, Linc, can you try and get some of the past and present players on the show?
I'll do my best, mate. I've reached out. I've got an OG, proper OG. Like, yeah. I don't want to give it away, but this guy is like proper OG Knight. And he's coming here. It's going to be a proper sit-down interview. Have a look at the old merchandise and stuff that his face is in. It's, he features quite heavily in this bar. He's coming in. It's going to be a great chat because I feel like there's so many untold stories of the old school Knights coming in. And I feel like if I want to make it my duty to get these guys in and explain how the club was founded and what its identity was and, how it should be. Because, we didn't come in like a glamour club and there was I was talking to Lou about it, there's no salary cap. And, that's why fucking Manly were hated because they could spend all this money and get all the good players. And we had fuck all cash. We had to be very, very astute. We just had to get tough blokes and fucking guys that we thought would have a big future. And this guy was a part of that. So not going to say who it is yet, but yeah, I've got some stuff in the works, mate. I do have some stuff in the works for sure. Very good. Very good. Battlers, as I said before, if you can like, follow, subscribe, all the good stuff, leave your boy a thumbs up. If you're watching this right now, give it a big old thumbs up. It does go a long way. It really does help us out. Take fucking 5 seconds of your day. If you can do so, make sure you leave us a big old 5-star review. Said there's going to be some giveaways. I'm going to be doing a giveaway on the new Rugby League 26 game when it drops. All right. So going to be doing some content around that.
Do you want to say that name for the winner again, Lincoln?
What was it? Wart something. Oh shit, where is he? Where are you? How hyphen Wart 2525.
Bingo.
How to Wart. How bizarre. Hope he got rid of his warts. Anyways, yes, Battlers. Now, make sure you're tuning in. As I said, Retro Rugby League and Hainsey, unfortunately, 2 diehard Rooster supporters. This is how good a bloke I am. I've got to put up with this bullshit. They're coming into the bar. I'm banning them from talking about that bloody game. But we'll be in here to do the New South Wales Blues stream team. We're putting our differences aside. This is the beauty and magic of Origin. Enemies 1 week, all mates the next. We're all cheering on the Blues tomorrow. They're going to pound the fucking Queenslanders into the core of the earth. So tune in. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's not going to just be my mug on the camera. You're going to see those boys here. And I'm sure if you've got questions for Retro regarding bloody jerseys or whatnot, hit him up. You'll have him all to yourselves tomorrow night. So make sure you tune in for that. And Hainsey too. If you want to give Hainsey shit, I don't care. You can call the Roosters whatever you like. All right. So make sure you tune in for that. Be about 7:30ish because the game kicks off about 8:10. So stay tuned for that. That's going to be a lot of fun. And then, yeah, Christ. And then what have I got? I got the Night's Watch Saturday and then the Sunday show. So far out. I am busy boy. But yes, battlers. All right. I'm getting the Adam O'Brien out of here. I'll see you guys tomorrow night for the New South Wales Stream Team. See you then, battlers.